This is the Big MJ debate. I'm Pez Jax.
And I'm Char McLachlan.
Kingvention is just a month away.
Yeah!
I can see you cheering.
We're all excited about it. Like, as stressful as it may be, we are excited.
We are apprehensive.
We're excited. Pez is like this every time, but we'll get there. We'll
At
get
least,
there.
at least I've stopped saying every year, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, we've graduated past that on year 9.
Yeah, which was in the UK. Um, but it is literally a month away, and that's quite exciting. We're
It's
celebrating our
exciting.
10th anniversary. I was looking at some photos the other day. I've aged horribly. Um,
Not at all.
well, I didn't have any white in my beard, and now I do. I was like noticing all these little white hairs and
That's
stuff.
just stress. It's not always there. So tell me this, Pez, what are you most excited about for convention this year? What elements would you say you're the most looking forward to?
When it hits 1 o'clock and it ends. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Next joke.
um, what am I most excited about? So this year we have been working on some tech stuff, and if you remember in what year was it? 2022, we did the 3D gallery.
That's right, yeah.
So we were the first people to ever do a Michael Jackson 3D gallery experience where you had these like little glasses and you looked at the pictures. So we looked at how we could take that one step further.
Mhm.
And we are doing that with short films. So
Wow.
we have some short films that will be played in 3D.
Mhm.
So this is really exciting. How that layout works is anybody's guess because I had it sorted. We changed it a few weeks ago, and then I went to the venue today, and I was like, no, it all needs to change again. So they will be there. Under what capacity is
Come
anybody's
hell or
guess.
high water.
So that's probably the most exciting because if you think
Yeah.
about like over the 10-year journey where we
Hmm.
started to be able to have like I would never have even thought 3D element would be
Yeah.
something that would be a part of the event. So
Yeah.
to now be with that, I think is really exciting. So that's probably like a huge scoop for the event this year.
Hmm. And what would you say from hosting the event for the first time in LA last year? What would you say you learned that has helped you with the planning of this year's event?
Um, I mean this in the nicest possible way, but it's good to be home. Um,
Hmm.
and when I say that, I don't mean that it wasn't great to be in the US.
Yeah.
What I mean is that it's like, it's familiar territory for us.
Yeah.
It's if I need to check the venue, it's an hour up the road.
Yeah.
Whereas I could just jump on a flight and go and measure up the wall in LA
Yeah.
and then come back. So,
Yeah.
in that regard, it's great to be back in the UK. Um, I think what we learned is how much the European fans love a drink,
Ah,
which you can
we did
attest to as
learn
well.
that. We did
As,
learn that.
as we said before, when it got to like 11 p.m. and we were standing there, and it was me, you, and Sarah, the only three with a drink.
And God knows we needed
Yeah.
it.
Um, so I think we learned how much the Europeans love to drink, which is
Absolutely.
great. Um,
And if I say so myself, I loved conventionally. I absolutely loved it. Like, let me get that clear. But the energy of the European fans is something else. Like, they are unmatched with their passion. And I feel like being back in the environment with it being the 10th anniversary, you must be proud of how far it's come.
yeah, definitely. I just think on that point about the energy, I think like with time, the US could get to that same
Oh,
level with
100%.
but I think it was new for everybody. They like we were new to them, they were new
Yep.
to us. It was
Yep.
like, and so there was a lot of that. But yeah, in answer to your question, I am really happy about how much has been achieved over 10 years. I mean, how many guests we've had? We've had like 40 guests, I think, something like 40.
That's wild.
And if I was to look at my sort of wish list from the first year, and people that I wrote on that list are people that I never expected to have. Like Bill Bottrell, I've wanted for, because he did Dangerous, and Dangerous is my
Yeah.
favorite album. So to get him was was amazing. um, Daryl Finnessy, who has become a really good friend, and Eddie Garcia, who's become a really good friend, and Stephen Wissett, who's become a friend, and Dan Beck, and all these people. And it's so strange that like what started as an initial kind of hey, is now like
Yeah,
I was on Zoom with Dan Beck last week,
yeah,
so staying in contact with them and just having that, and they all ask about Kingvention, and they all ask about when the next one is and who's involved and can they get involved, and so
yeah.
that's a huge compliment. And I never thought 10 years ago we'd be. Did I think that? No, probably not. No,
I don't think you did.
no.
Well, this is really exciting. It's fun to hear about all these kind of inside scoops and what else could be coming from Kingvention. If there are people, say, on the fence about maybe coming alone or thinking that they've not been part of anything within the fan community, that's quite common now.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who is maybe a bit worried about coming on their own?
Well, it sounds so corny, doesn't it, when we're like, we're all a global family, as Michael would say. But it
Yeah,
but it is true.
no, it's true.
Um, it is really true. I mean, I think back to my first experience with the community, and I turned up on my own.
Yeah.
And I made friends off that. Some of whom I'm still close with. Some are, best friends of mine. Some, thank God, are no longer around. um, but over the years, from that I've made more friends and different friends and friends all over the world, and that's all from one point. So
Yeah.
if I could advise anything, it's like come to convention, even if you are on your own, you will meet a fan that's your friend, and you will meet their friends, and you will have experiences together, and you'll probably go to the musical together afterwards and do all other
100%.
things.
And you know
And
what? You'll probably see people as well that you've only ever spoke to or saw online. And you can like drop your conceptions of people, meet new friends, and
well, I met you there. That's how we met.
I know nearly 10 years ago, God, 10, we're getting on.
And you are the only person that's been to every single convention.
And see when I think about that, like that is wild. The feeling I had at the first convention is what's kept me coming every single time. But we have made such an amazing friendship out of it, and that is, I mean, so many amazing things have come from Kingvention being a fan for me. But you are the best.
Oh, cheers.
uh,
What are you looking forward to most this year?
I am again like from being in LA. Do you know what that feels like a year ago, but it was only about 6 months
It
ago.
was.
But I'm the same as you. I'm looking forward to having the event back in the UK. I am excited because there's a new venue and we are having a totally different environment. I'm excited to see everyone that you see at these events all the time, and I'm also excited for our MJ debate discussion. I think that'll be
Yes.
really fun.
So we featured the first time at Convention 2023 where we spoke about is Michael being faded into the background.
Yeah,
And honestly, when we launched those panel discussions, it was like, oh, we'll just see what happens. And do you remember the room was just packed?
I
And
was
we were
getting
like,
like scared.
I know, and it was packed. And then there's Seb at the back going, hurry up, because the meet and greet needs to start. But they really did really well. And also Elizabeth Amazu, who does the Michael Jackson Academic Studies, she had a panel at that same event, which was hugely successful as well. And she's great, and she's coming back this year. And we're actually teaming up with them this year to
So exciting.
discuss Michael Jackson and AI. So that should be insightful because we have a session in the afternoon, which is another set of guys that are using AI to create a different vibe with Michael. And obviously, we're discussing whether AI is right and if it is, how it should be used and whatnot. So I think that's going to be quite cool because, again, if you go back 10 years, AI wasn't even a thing.
That didn't even exist. I'm
No.
actually so sure as well that need enough. Everybody in that room is going to have an opinion, and we want to hear them. Uh,
Yes, exactly. And it's set in a library as well, so it feels very educational, even if
it'll
it's
be
not.
fun. It'll be fun.
What about guests? Who are you most looking forward to seeing guest wise?
I'm really, really excited to see a leaf again. because
Yes.
obviously we saw her in LA. But do you know, guest wise, I think every year that we've went to convention, I have learned something that I would have never have known had I not been there. And hearing people's accounts and something that always gets me about the guests is when they're so moved by the experience. And that is probably the element that I always enjoy the most is seeing how much the guests have enjoyed talking about those memories, but also the reception to the fans and people having such an interest in their life. So I'm really excited for all the guests.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you've got somebody who is still very much within the Michael sphere,
Yeah,
and they do a lot of like, they might do work with impersonators or do dance classes or whatever. They may do things, but it's a lot of MJ is always within their realm. Then you get those that it's kind of like they did MJ and now they don't do it anymore
yeah,
because they've moved on with their careers. It's interesting that so many of them say, "Oh, it's nice to be asked about Michael because
yeah,
I don't get asked," and they're the ones I love because they're the stories that if they're not asked, they disappear.
yeah, definitely,
Some people are on
definitely.
record time and time and time and time again with the same
Yeah,
story. It's those ones that don't get asked. And I think, if you take, for example, Smooth Criminal is such a big ensemble and such a big cast. And we've heard the kind of top level stories all the time. They've been repeated endlessly, but it's those kind of like once you get to the individual dancers and the individual people that it's like hearing their stories.
yeah,
And
definitely.
that was, a leaf for us was one of those. It was like I want to get to the heart of these people's stories and hear from them. Um, and of course, when we was in LA, do you remember we were standing outside and I said to Elif, "So we'll see you in London then?" And she was like, "Is that an invite?" I was like, "Yes."
Oh,
Um, so I'm really excited to have a leaf and also Bill Nation as well because
absolutely.
Bill took my favourite picture of Michael, which is the Stranger in Moscow picture. Which can we just take a moment to talk about that picture? I'm just trying to see if I can find it. Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah, you showed
Yeah.
me when we
And it's like the reason I love that picture so much is because it's like he's got his hands here like this and he's looking at the camera and it's like angry and sad and masculine, powerful and vulnerable.
yeah.
That picture is everything in one shot. And I just like if I was to be able to take everything Michael and put it to one picture, it's that picture.
Love that. What
Um,
a major compliment for him as well.
I know, and when I sent it to him on Zoom when we first connected, we had a call and stuff, and I said, "Oh, you took my favorite picture." And he was like, "Which one?" I was like, so I explained it, and he went, "Oh, the one that's like black on white, and really?" I was
Ah,
like, "Yes, really." Um,
no.
so I'm really excited to talk about that picture from a selfish perspective.
No,
Um,
that's an amazing part about Kingvention though. Like I remember 2016, so I was 18 and I had said to Tom Russo, I was like, Dangerous is my favorite album ever. I'm really interested in talking to you about it. And he went, I'm really sorry, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 18. He was like, you weren't even born when this came out. I was like, I know, it is my favorite. But that's a huge part of it. Like you get to talk to these guests too, and like, whatever you want to ask them, go ahead.
Well, that's it. And obviously, Dave Way, who worked on Dangerous and is the third guest, he worked on Remember the Time. And
Yeah.
so, as you
So here's
know,
my moment all over again.
yeah, so welcome to Pezvention. We're talking to all my favourite people. But yes, exactly. It's like, to be able to have those conversations and get
Yeah,
the insight is just so valuable. And I'm really excited to sort of get those in-depth conversations. And
definitely.
also, like when it comes to meet and greet, I think like every year I get requests from fans. It's like a list, and like, it's like Quincy Jones or Prince Jackson or whatever. And I'm like, well, Quincy's no longer here, and would never have been invited anyway. And yeah, like there are sort of popular names that we could ask, but I really like to get those alternative
Yeah,
names.
absolutely. And if Kingvention isn't the place for people who don't tell their stories of Michael to be heard, then where is?
Yes, exactly. And I think there will always be opportunities to meet those kind of bigger names and recognizable
Hmm.
faces.
Hmm.
And Kingvention has been that on many occasions,
Absolutely, it's been versatile.
but not every year. And that's always been our kind of from the beginning. We've said that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and just worth mentioning as well, we are looking at a way that we can pay tribute to Eddie Warfel, who, if you remember, came to the first
that's right.
Kingvention as a surprise guest, and then unfortunately passed away the following year. So that's sort of been 9 years since he passed, and 10 years since he first came to Kingvention. So we're looking to pay tribute to him as well because he was a great guy that really gave us so much for the first event and put his trust in us.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely,
so
definitely.
there's a lot happening. I reckon there's going to be a lot of tears this year and a lot of,
A
hopefully, a lot
lot
of good memories.
a lot of tears, a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. And but that's the best part of it. I feel like every time you come to convention, all day you're on this roller coaster of emotion. You're excited and you're sad because he's not here, and then you're happy because you've heard something you've just learned for the first time, and you're making new friends, and you're hearing your music, and you feel connected to people. It's a major roller coaster, but it's so much fun. And honestly, I cannot say this enough. If I'm the only person that's been to every event, I'm qualified to say this. Bloody buy a ticket, guys. You will not regret it.
Yeah, at the time of doing this, there are, still some left. My advice would be don't be put off by the location of them because it's still a great view wherever you're sat
Yeah, of
and you still
course.
get to access everything. There's exclusive merch as well this year, so that's really worth coming for. We teamed up with Minix, who did these little guys.
So cute.
They are going to debut their Billie Jean. I want to say it's History Tour or Dangerous Tour. I don't know which one. They're going to debut their Billie Jean at Kingvention. There's a commemorative coin, a 30th anniversary history Kingvention commemorative coin that's going to be there. So that's really cool. I think fans were emailed about that last week. And all the usual merch that you can grab and get your hands on as well. So it should be really exciting
And of
and
course the
nervous.
party at the end too, the best bit.
Oh yeah, right. Can we just? I
Oh,
know
here he
everyone.
goes.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you for why. Because I know everyone loves the party, but it's the part I have to do the least for.
Which I absolutely understand, but I also feel like it's the best bit because we actually get to, I get to see you and talk to
Yeah, it's
you.
true. And
Yes.
have you got your outfit yet?
Do you know what? I've actually got a few things.
What? You
I've
haven't
got,
said.
yeah, I know because I might wear none of them. But I also might. I've got a few things that I've been thinking about because what's the theme? Sequins and sparkles, right?
Sequins and sparkles. Well, we looked at different ideas, didn't we? And then it just kind of made sense that to be an anniversary celebration for history, an anniversary celebration for Kingvention, and Michael was all about sequins and sparkles, and we thought you could literally take any Michael outfit and jazz the fuck out of
Absolutely. And it's Met
it.
Gala month, so I want it to go all
Yeah.
out.
And so I thought that was going to be great, and let's
So fun.
let's get everyone like shining and sparkling. And she's going to walk into the party like this.
Love that though. I love that. I love that.
There's because we did try and do Gold Party in LA, and I think it didn't land the way we'd hoped. Even for us, we were kind
Even
of
for
like,
us, we were
"Oh
like,
yeah, gold."
do you know what though? That theme should never have been as difficult. It was extremely difficult.
Do you know? You'd think, "Oh, gold, you can get gold anywhere." No, you can't.
No, you can't, especially when you're leaving the country in like 2 weeks' time and you're stressed the fuck out about it. No, you can't get gold everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if you order from Timu or something. Do you remember that year that Seb ordered that sequin outfit
Oh, for
from
fuck's
Timu?
sake.
And it
Yes.
came and it was literally like a pair of black scrubs from a hospital with printed sequins. And
So, word of advice.
I remember getting this picture from him standing in the bathroom like this. It's like not wearing this.
Ah, he tried. God love him, he
He did.
tried.
And he never tried again after that. Um, so no, I mean I haven't even got an outfit yet. I've got a plan, but I
Oh,
need to get on with it.
have you told me about this?
I should have. Well, if not, I'll follow up with you later
Yeah,
because I've got to make my entrance. So
100%.
the one I would love to do on 1 year, I will do. I'd love to go as the Scarecrow from The Wiz.
Love that. Okay. Oh, 1 year. So tell me this, Pez.
Oh no.
What do you think I know it's hard because this
Is that
year's
the
event.
price on the bottom of that cup? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, as you were.
Um, yeah, tell me this. So obviously it's hard to say because this year's event hasn't been yet, but what do you think the future of Convention is?
Well, hmm, here's the funny thing is this in my plans, this wasn't the only thing to happen this year in
Mm-hmm.
my initial plans. However, it's still kind of TBC just because of everything going on economically and there's a I don't want to get like bogged down with politics, but there's a lot of moving parts that are potentially putting our ideas on hold.
Mm-hmm.
But there is another plan in place or in the works that I am very excited about, which would come hopefully this year. But I don't know if it will. We'll just have to see. But the future, it's hard to say really because I didn't think we'd get to 10. And
Yes, so bring on 20.
fuck off. That's all right for you. When we get to 20, that's another 10 years. So you'll be what, like 15?
30. Brilliant. I will, what will it be in 10 years? 36.
36. Right. So I'll be 40, almost 48.
You still a young thing?
Seb will be nearly 60.
And do you
So
know what? It'll be the best nearly 60-year-old going.
he won't, yeah, because I'll have propped him up there, and people are like, is he alive
He'll
behind
be
that check-in desk?
taxidermied.
Right, is he alive behind that desk? Yes. Just give him a smile. Um, so yeah, I don't. Honest truth, I don't know. We kind of started taking things year by year. I'd love to
Yes.
go. I'd love to go to other places in the world as well. Um,
There's a
now
running
that
conspiracy theory that 10 is the last one. Can you confirm or deny this?
is there? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's been some Facebook speculation, as where else would the speculation be?
Well, this is what I find funny about these type of things when they happen on Facebook or people make things and I'm like, is it? Like, I love it when people will write something about Kingvention and I'll be reading it and I'll go, is it? Like,
How did that get out there?
yeah, is that the case? Because I don't even know that that's the case.
Yeah,
Is it the last one? No, because we've not made that decision about
yeah.
anything other than potential plan for later this year. We've not made any decision about the future. So whoever set that one up
So
is
who knows?
well, conspiracies run wild. So I guess all that's left to say is it's exciting. There's a lot more to come. I hope it's going to be a great day.
It will. Not
And
I hope. Pez, here's my thing. Speaking absolutes, because you have the experience behind you that this is going to be pulled off.
Char, the only absolute I'm speaking in is the vodka. So-
Oh, right. Okay. Well, here, listen. I'll speak in absolutes. This is going to be an amazing day. So,
Yes, it
guys,
is.
if you have come every year, if you've never come before, if you've dipped in and out, please come along. It will be an amazing event. And who wouldn't want to see these two Moni bitches live talking about AI?
At least if you don't like it, you can throw something at us, I
Yeah,
suppose.
rotten fruit.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there willing to pay somebody to attend and throw stuff at us. So
Do you know what? See if they do. Fair.
I hear Swanage is nice this time of year.
Is
I
it?
don't know. Cool. Well, in that case, we will see you at convention.
Wait, hang on. When is it?
Oh, right. Well, yeah. Right. In that case, We will see you on May the 24th in London at Conway Hall for this year's Kingvention, featuring Elif Sankey, Dave Way, Bill Nation, 3D footage, a special mural, something outside, some extra special merch, and just a good time.
Isn't that day that Star Wars fans do? May the 24th. Is
No,
that?
Charles, that's May the 4th, as in May the 4th be with you, and that was Star Trek. So,
Can you tell I don't
thank God this is not a pop culture channel because we'd have just lost our
know? And
subscribers.
usually I'm good at that.
So, we'll see you there.
We will see you there.
We probably should have
Fuck,
said
I was so confidently wrong.
bye. I love that.